Hi everyone, Miss Maureen here today. Just wanted to come here today and share with you guys a little idea I have of something you can do with your kiddos to help them learn how to talk about their feelings, or really even just name their feelings, right? So first let me tell you a little bit about why we even worry about this with kids. So many parents have concerns or are really challenged by their children, and this may be true for you too, their children have temper tantrums, or their children are aggressive, or maybe they cry a lot, or they're just really whiny, right? So all of these behaviors we know are all due to the fact that children sometimes have a really hard time managing their really big feelings. And you know, the truth is that all of us have a really hard time managing our really big feelings. But it's especially true for little kids, right? Now, one of the things that you'll hear talk about a lot, right, is about how children need to learn to self-regulate, right? Well, you know what? That's just not even true. What we know is that little kids don't have the capacity to self-regulate when they have big feelings. In fact, most of the time, even as grown-ups, and we have really big feelings, we need someone else's help when we're having those big feelings. So we call that co-regulation. And if that's true for grown-ups, that's 100 times more true for children who just, their little brains are just not developed to that point yet where they can manage their big feelings on their own. So they need to have a way to ask for help, right? So the other part to know is that when little kids are having a feeling, for them, a feeling is just a lot of sensations in their body, right? Sensations that they don't necessarily understand, right? It's just a lot of really uncomfortable things happening. There may be a thought to it, or maybe not, right? Maybe they don't even have a thought that goes with it. It's just some really uncomfortable feelings, and they need some help figuring that out. So part of our job as parents is to start to help our kids learn how to name what they're feeling, right? So of course, the best way we do that is the best way we do all things with kids, right? Is we model it, right? So when you're having feelings, it's okay to name your feelings in front of your children in an appropriate way, right? So like right now, we're all kind of at home because this COVID-19 thing. So, you know, if you watch the news and you see some really scary stuff on the news, right? It's not okay to go to your 4-year-old and say, I'm really terrified that we all might get sick, right? Totally appropriate for you to feel that. All your feelings are appropriate, but some of those feelings we save to discuss with other adults, right? However, it is okay to share some of your feelings with your kids, right? So like if they're feeling scared, to be able to say, yeah, mom's feeling a little scared about that too, right? And then you can talk about how you're managing that scared, right? Or mom's feeling sad that we can't go see grandma too. Yep, that makes mom feel sad. I wish we could go give her a hug, right? So model it, right? Modeling is always the best way that kids learn. They're gonna, you know, what's the saying, that they're gonna do what you do, right? So definitely we wanna think about how we model it, right? But we also wanna start to help them learn how to have the right language to match what they're feeling inside, right? So that when they're feeling those uncomfortable sensations, they can start to learn, oh, this is sad, right? Or, oh, this is mad, or this is frustrated. When they start to learn those things, they can use those words to get help, right? To say, you know what, mom, dad, I'm feeling really frustrated right now. I need some help, right? We have to teach them some emotional language, right? So there's lots of ways to do this. There's lots of fun ways to do it. But given that we're just a few days away from Easter, whether you celebrate or you don't, you may have some little plastic Easter eggs around your house, right? They're really cheap to buy. I know, like I said, right now we're in COVID-19, so we're not supposed to be going out to the store. I will tell you that I got mine. I got this set of 12. You can see there are not many left in there, but I got 12 at Target for $1, and I was able to order them online and just drive right up and they bring them out to your car. So that's a possibility if you don't have some, okay? But little fun activity that I've done with kids many times to help them kind of learn some feeling language, right? Is you take these little eggs and you take a Sharpie, and if your children are old enough, they can help you if you trust them with the Sharpie. saying that you're always going to stay with them, because you know what happens when you leave kids alone with Sharpies, right? Hope everybody knows the Murphy's Law, what happens when you do that. So, but you take the little eggs, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to draw little feeling faces on the eggs. And you can use your phone's emojis for examples. You can look online. There's some really good examples online for this. And so I always like to start with our basic feelings, right? So the first few I drew were glad. This is a very interesting glad. So I'm not a professional artist, but there's glad, right? The first 4 rhyme, right? Glad, mad, sad. I should say the first 3 rhyme. And scared, right? So for very little kids, these are really good ones to start with, right? We can start to add some other ones in too, because we know the more, feeling words we have, the easier it is to really explain what we're feeling and what's going on for us. So like, this looks like a very scared egg, right? This is like, I'm scared right now in a minute, something very bad, right? This looks to me like more of like an anxious little egg, right? So scary and anxious are very similar feelings, right? They're similar, but they're different enough that it's nice to be able to talk about what's different about them, right? So one thing you can do with these eggs, right, is say like every morning everyone comes down and picks an egg and talks about how they're feeling that day, or how they're feeling about the day to come, or could be in the middle of the day if you're having some challenges. Okay, everybody, let's pick out some eggs and talk about how we're feeling, right? And so in that, maybe you talk about the difference between feeling anxious, right? Like I'm feeling kind of anxious about what's happening versus really, really scared, right? Nice little way to differentiate how different feelings. I have another one. Let me see. This one, I love this one too. So this one to me looks like a little frustrated egg, like, right? Which is maybe different than mad. They're rolling off my desk here, which is maybe different than mad, right? So we can talk about the differences, right? When your children pick out what they're feeling and you're talking about these different feelings, we want to make sure they know that you can feel lots of different things at once. Like I could feel really frustrated, and I could feel scared all at the same time. I could feel many things at once, right? In fact, most of the time when we have big feelings, we are feeling lots of different feelings at once. And so when we talk to children about their feelings, we can think about things that happened earlier in the day, things that they're feeling right now. It's tempting to want to ask them why they're feeling that way. Totally okay to do, but we never demand that they answer, because remember, for them, it's just a lot of sensation, so they can't always tell you, right? You might be able to start to tell them, right? Like, Mommy was really frustrated when I had to ask you 3 times to pick up your blocks and you still wouldn't do it. And it's really hard for Mommy, and Mommy was very frustrated, right? So I'm sharing my thought in that. I don't expect my 3 or 4-year-old to be able to do that, okay? So there's one other really fun thing you can do with these eggs, and this is one of the funnest parts about them, is that you can do a little mix and match with them, right? And especially if you have older kids, that they can take the eggs and they can break them into parts, right? And mix and match different faces with different eyes. So like, this is a feeling that I am pretty sure that I've had in my life. It's like a frustrated sad, right? Like I'm a little like when I think about being stuck inside for COVID-19, I'm really sad about everything that's happening, and I'm really frustrated too, because it's really hard to stay inside, right? So an older kiddo might be able to be a little bit more sophisticated with these. And even for the young kids, it's just fun to pop them off and pop them on and see if you can figure out what the feelings are, right? And don't be afraid to think of some more complex feelings as your children get older. I'm talking about way older, I'm even talking like 4 or 5. You can start thinking about, what does it mean to feel jealous, right? What does it mean to feel bored? What does that look like on your face when you feel bored? What does it look like on your face when you feel frustrated, right? So just a little fun activity to get kiddos and you talking about what feelings you're having, and really timely for right now. And I hope you guys have a really good time with it, and I hope I get to see all of you very, very soon, and that everybody stays well. Okay, so take care. Bye-bye.